Hello everyone, welcome back you all in this new video. Here we are going to see the professional approach for manual design of the pile cap for 3 piles. This complete problem we are going to solve in a few important steps. In the first and second step we are going to see the problem statement, determination of the pile cap dimension and how to find out the trial depth of the pile cap at preliminary stage. In the third step we are going to do the design for the flexure to know the reinforcement along the parallel and longitudinal direction of the pile cap. In the fourth step, we are going to do design checks for the one-way and two-way shear around the column and piles. In the fifth step, we are going to do the design details of the reinforcement over the plan and sectional elevation of the pile cap. And at the end of this video, we will let you know bonus tips and tools how to do the complete design of the pile cap for 3 piles in just of 3 to 5 minutes instead of following the lengthy process. So for better understanding of everything, it's a request with you all guys, kindly watch this video till the end. Now, without wasting time, let's start. So first of all, we have to understand the problem statement. So actually we have given a column of size 300 by 800 which is subjected to a factored load of 4100 kilonewton. The ultimate pile capacity of each individual friction pile is given as 1700 kilonewton, where the diameter of pile is given as 450 mm. The material that we have to use for the design of this pile cap as M30 as a grade of concrete and Fe500 as a grade of steel. So basically we have to design and detail the suitable pile cap for all the given data. So in the first step, we are trying to find out the dimension of the pile cap in respect of IS 2911. So prior to that, we would like to write all the given data. So basically we have given a column of size 300 by 800, the factored load as 4100 kilonewton. The capacity of each individual pile is 1700 kilonewton and the diameter of each individual pile we have to consider as 450 mm. The material as given in the problem statement as M30 and Fe500. So basically these all are the given data that you can find in the problem statement. But the important thing we have to determine here as how many number of piles are required to resist this load if one pile is having the 1700 kilonewton capacity. So it's very simple. We have to take the ratio of 4100 divided by 1700. So this will give you how many number of piles are required to resist this total load as 4100 kilonewton. So basically 2.41 this much number of piles are actually required, but it is in fraction. That's why we are going to round up this value to a 3 numbers. So basically 3 number of piles we are going to provide. Now we have to find out geometry of the pile cap. Overall geometry of the pile cap we have to determine. But prior to that, what we need to find out? The center to center distance between the pile. What will be the center to center distance between the two pile that we have to find out. And for that reason we have to follow IS 2911 page number 4 clause number 6.6.1. That will define what should be the center to center distance between the two pile. So for that reason we have to look at IS 2911 page number 4. Have a look over this and see the clause number 6.6.1. So here this clause saying that if your pile is of a type of end bearing pile, so the center to center distance between the two piles should be 2.5 times diameter of the pile. But if your pile is a type of friction pile, in that situation the center to center distance between the two piles should be 3 times the diameter of the pile. So that we are going to consider in our problem. So here I am going to consider 3 times diameter of the pile. So 3 times diameter of pile is actually given as 450 mm. So total center to center distance between the two pile is going to become 1350 in mm. Thereafter we have to know the how much the clear edge distance we can consider. What does mean the clear edge distance? Try to understand. From the face of the pile up to the edge of the pile cap, this is called as clear edge distance, and up to the center of the pile, this is called as effective edge distance. So for this also we need to look at IS 2911 page number 6 clause number 6.12.5. So for that reason I am just moving towards the page number 6. So if you are going to see the page number 6, so here 6.12.5, the clear overhang of the pile cap beyond the outermost of the pile in the group shall be a minimum of 150 mm. So if you are going to design any kind of pile cap, means any number of piles, so the edge distance, clear edge distance means from the face of the pile up to the edge of the pile cap, the minimum distance you have to maintain it as what? 150 mm. You can take more than of this, but you are not allowed to take less than of this. Try to understand. So for that reason, what we are going to do, we are going to consider it here as a clear edge distance as 200 in mm. Now finally, we have to find out the effective edge distance. Effective edge distance what? See, the effective edge distance from the edge of the pile cap up to the center of the pile, this is called as effective edge distance. So that I am going to put here as a clear edge distance plus half of your diameter of the pile will give you effective edge distance. So it is 200 plus 450 divided by 2, it is going to become 425 in mm. It is the effective edge distance. Now finally, we have to find out how much the reaction were carried by each individual piles, because your column is actually carrying total load of 4100 kilonewton as factored. Now each individual pile capacity is what? 1700 kilonewton as factored. So we have to know each individual pile. If suppose we are going to provide the 3 number of pile, so one pile how much the load is going to be carried. So for that reason, total load divided by total number of pile. So if we are going to take the ratio of this, we are getting what? Each individual pile is going to carry the load of 1366.67 kilonewton. So this is what the reaction were carried by your pile. Now after all of this, next point that is very important to find out the geometry of this pile cap, because it is a pentagon. Okay, so we have to find out the geometry of this pile cap, and for that reason I would like to take to this drawing, and one by one we are trying to find out all the edge dimension of this pile cap. So first, center to center distance between the two pile, we already have calculated 3 times diameter of the pile, so it is going to become 1350 in mm. Now effective edge distance, that also we have calculated 200 as clear edge distance plus diameter of pile divided by 2. So it is giving us 425 in mm. Now total length of this pile cap at its base. So for that reason, center to center distance plus 2 times this A value. So we are getting what? Total length of the pile cap at this bottom edge. Here we are getting total length as 2200 in mm. So that we are going to write here in our problem as bottom edge as 2200 in mm. Thereafter, further we have to extend our calculation to know this height, this side edge, vertical edge of the pile cap. How you can calculate this? So it's very simple. First we are knowing this value. This is what H1. It is nothing but the clear edge distance plus half of your diameter. So we are knowing it as 425. It is nothing but the equal to of your A value. But here again we have calculated that value as H1. So 200 plus diameter of pile divided by 2. Again it is coming out to be same 425. Now H2. How you can calculate this H2? So H2, we are finding this angle as 15 degree. So we are knowing the base. Base is how much? 425. Angle is how much? 15 degree. We have to calculate the H2, and for that we have to put the formula as base multiplied by tan 15. So we are getting the value of H2. H2 we are getting 113.778 in mm. Now finally, total H value means side edge distance or side edge height value we are getting as H1 plus H2. So 425 plus 113.778. So finally we are getting 538.878 in mm. So this value I am actually going to put in our calculation. So 538.9 overall value we are going to put here. Now next we have to do the calculation for this triangle dimension, internal triangle. Our main objective is to find out this total height. How you can calculate that? It's very simple. The triangle is total angle is 60 degree, and if you are going to take the median of this, we are getting the 30 degree, half of this 60. So it is what? We are getting the center point, and at this point, about this center point only, we are going to put our column. This will be act as a CG of your column, as well as this is going to act as a CG of your pile cap. So we actually have to find out this height. We actually have to find out this height. Then finally we have to find out this total height. So that's very simple. One by one we are going to do this calculation. So basically we have to find out the total triangle height, this total H. How you can calculate it is very simple. This half value we are knowing. This is a half of your LCC, center to center distance between the two pile. If you are going to take half of this, you will get this value. We are knowing the angle as 60 degree. So it's, what's the problem? We can calculate this total height. So that will equal to LCC divided by 2, center to center distance divided by 2 multiplied by tan 60. If you are going to put all the values here, we are getting the total height of this triangle as 1169.13. Now our objective is not to find out this total height. Our objective is find out 2c. This value we have to find out. How you can calculate this height, this horizontal distance? So it's again very simple. See, we are knowing this total height. Now I want to calculate this height only from the center of the column, or from this center point up to what I have to calculate it up to this. Okay, this height I want to calculate. And how I can calculate this height? It's very simple. That is what? LCC 2 divided by 2 multiplied by tan 60 minus tan 30. Okay, if you are going to subtract this height, so you will get this above height. Plus above to that we have to add half of your diameter of the pile plus clear distance. So overall we have to find out this total height. And this height we are going to call it as what? Total K. So the formula for this total K is going to become what? K equal to LCC, center to center distance, divided by 2 multiplied by tan 60. Okay, so we will get total height. Then we have to subtract this height. So that is what? Again LCC by 2 multiplied by tan 30. So LCC by 2 we are taking outside. Tan 60 minus tan 30 will give you finally this height. Then plus half of your diameter of the pile plus clear edge distance. So finally it's very simple, we are getting the K value. Okay, so after putting all the values here, we are getting the K value as 1204.42 in mm. Now finally the angle, this is what? One triangle we are getting, where we are knowing the angle. This angle is what? 11.52. We have to find out this height value. How you can calculate this height value? For that reason, what? C equal to K into, because it is the angle, very simple, height upon base will equal to tan theta. If you are going to take this base value there on the right hand side, then B into tan 60. So here it is what? Basically B is nothing but your K. So K into tan degree, whatever the degree is there. Okay, so here the angle is 11.52. So that I am going to put K into tan. Basically it is not 12, it is actually 11.52. By mistake it is written as 12. So 11.52 we have to put here. So finally we are getting the C value as 245.47. Now it is nothing but the twice of this C. This total edge distance is going to become what? 2C. So 2 times 245.47, it is going to become 490.75 in mm. So this value we are going to put in our calculation as 490.7. Up to now we have calculated the base edge as 2200 in mm and side edge as 538.9 in mm. We also have calculated the top edge as 490.7. The one thing is only remaining to calculate is actually this inclined edge of the pile cap. And how to do the calculation for this inclined edge? For that, just follow the same procedure. So basically we have to calculate basically what? This m value, and that will actually define this inclined edge. How you can calculate this? Just follow the procedure. So basically first we need to calculate this f value. So it's very simple. We already knowing the total length of the pile cap at this base edge. So total length minus this total top edge. And if you have to divide the total value divided by 2. So you will get half on this side, you will get half on this side. So it's very simple. That is what? Total length of the pile cap at the base minus 2 times C means this value, and divided by this 2. So 2200 minus 490.75 divided by 2, because 2C value we already have calculated as what? 490.75, right? So that I am going to put here. After doing all of this calculation, we are getting the value of this F as 854.625 in mm. Next, we have to calculate this value, N value. And how you can calculate this N value? Very simple. Again, how you can calculate this N value? We are knowing the total height of this pile cap. Total height, we have not calculated this total height. It's very simple. How we can calculate this total height? We already have the height of this triangle. Okay. Now half of the diameter of pile plus clear edge. And on the bottom side also the same thing. Half of the diameter of pile plus clear edge. So half of the diameter pile plus clear edge 2 times top and bottom. In middle we are having the height of the triangle. So basically we already have calculated the height of the triangle. So height of the triangle plus 2 times top and bottom diameter of pile divided by 2 plus clear edge. So height of the triangle is how much? Let me show you height of the triangle. Here it is present 1169.13 in mm, right? So that we are going to put here as height of the triangle plus this value. So 1169.13 plus 2 times 450 diameter of pile divided by 2 plus clear edge distance. So finally this will give us total height of this pile cap as from base to top as 2019.13 in mm. Now we have to calculate this n value, and n you can calculate by the difference of this total height and this h value. H is 538. How much we have calculated h earlier? Total h we have calculated h equal to 538.878. That I am going to put here. Okay. So total height is 2019.13 minus 538.878. The difference of these two value we are getting 1480.252 in mm. Now finally it is the simple triangle f, and this n we actually have to calculate this m value. So it's very simple. Square root of n square plus f square. Put the value of n here, 1480.252 square plus 854.625 square. If we are going to do this calculation, we are getting the value of m as 1709.25 in mm. So finally all the dimension of the pile cap we have successfully calculated as base, side edge, incline edge and top horizontal edge. So with all of these values I am going to create my drawing here. Base 2200, side edge 538.9 and incline edge is 1709.3 in mm, and finally at the top edge we are getting 490.7. So in this way we have to do the calculation, and each pile is having the diameter of 450 in mm. Now let's try to understand the direction consideration. So the pile cap in this direction we are going to call it as parallel direction. So accordingly we are going to find out the reinforcement, and the pile cap in this direction we are going to call it as perpendicular direction, and by the consideration of this direction we are going to do the further calculation. Hope that is clear to all of you. Now in the step 2 we have to find the trial depth of the pile cap by following the empirical expression where given by the Verghese to find out the thickness of the pile cap, and the formula where basically depends on the diameter of the pile. So if your diameter of the pile is less than of 550 mm, in that situation you have to follow this equation, and if your diameter of the pile is more than of 550 mm or equal to 550 mm, in that situation we have to follow this expression. So basically in our proposed example the diameter of the pile is given as 450 mm. That's why we are going to follow this first expression to find out the overall depth of the pile cap. So here the depth of the pile cap will equal to 2 times diameter of the pile plus 100. It will be equal to 2 times 450 plus 100. It is going to become as 1000 in mm. But one note here, it is given the depth of the pile cap usually should not be less than of 600 mm. So obviously our depth requirement is coming out to be 1000 in respect of the first expression. Now we are going to adopt the same depth of the pile cap as we have calculated by the expression. So now adopting the trial depth as equal to 1000 mm. Thereafter we actually have to calculate the effective depth of the pile cap so that it will be required on the later calculation. So for that we need to first assume the clear cover. So that clear cover I am going to consider as 60 mm, and the diameter of bar I am going to consider as 20 mm. So you know very well, if suppose you would like to calculate the effective depth, right? Suppose this is the position. Okay, just clear this all for better understanding. Suppose this is my pile cap where we are going to provide the reinforcement here at the on the bottom face. Okay, so it is what clear cover. Clear cover we are going to consider it as what 60 mm, and diameter of the bar we are going to consider as what 20 mm. So effective depth is actually coming up to the center of the bar. So how you can calculate this value? So overall depth we have calculated as 1000. So effective depth of the pile cap will equal to total depth of the pile cap minus clear cover minus half of diameter of the bar. So 1000 minus clear cover minus half of diameter of bar. If you are going to do this calculation, we are getting the effective depth of the pile cap as 930 mm. So just keep this thing in your mind that effective depth we have calculated as 930 mm. So in further calculation we are going to follow this value. Now, in the step third, we have to do the design for the flexure in order to find out the reinforcement along parallel as well as along the longitudinal direction of the pile cap. So earlier we have discussed that the direction. So basically you can understand we have decided to consider the reinforcement along this direction as a parallel direction, and this direction we are going to consider as perpendicular direction. So we have to find out the reinforcement along this direction as well as the reinforcement along this direction. So basically if you would like to calculate the reinforcement along this parallel direction, so we need to find out the movement along this direction. Basically our concern is to find out the movement along this direction. So basically we have to find out the perpendicular distance from the face of the column up to the center of the pile. So this distance we have to find out, or either you can consider this side, either this side or this side. Amongst these two sides, one side you have to consider, and you also have to consider how much the reaction were carried by your pile. So reaction we need to know what is the reaction is coming, and you have to multiply this reaction with this perpendicular distance from the face of the column along the width of the column up to the center of the pile. So this distance we actually have to calculate. How you can calculate this distance? It's very simple. Basically we are actually knowing the center to center distance between these two pile, that we are representing it as LCC, center to center distance. That is what 1.35 meter in meter if I am going to consider, and you have to take the half of this, so you will come up to the center of the column. Now we actually have to calculate this face distance from the face to the center. So we also have to subtract this half of the width of the column. So basically formula is going to become for this perpendicular distance as center to center distance between the pile divided by 2 minus width of the column divided by 2. If you are going to do the calculation for this, you will get the face distance from the column to the center of the pile, and reaction were carried by the pile we are knowing how much it is. That is actually what let me show you. The reaction were carried by each individual pile is 1366.67, and the formula we have just now discussed, this formula is actually written here. So we are going to find out the bottom reinforcement along the parallel edge. So we are going to do this calculation. So I am going to put the reaction, I am going to put the center to center distance divided by 2 minus width of the column we have given as 0.3, that is 300 mm divided by 2. After doing this calculation, we are getting the ultimate moment, or we can say factored moment, as 717.5 kilonewton meter. After this, what we are going to do the calculation of the reinforcement over the 1 meter width. That's why we are going to consider as 1000 mm. Effective depth of the pile cap is 930 mm. Characteristic strength of concrete is 30 Newton per mm square. Yield strength of steel is 500. So this is the basic formula for calculating the area of the reinforcement. 0.5 FCK divided by Fy, inside bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 multiplied by mu, that is what ultimate moment just now we have calculated along the parallel direction, divided by FCK b into d square multiplied by b into d. If we are going to put all the values in this equation, so we will get this equation. Okay, so here mainly you have to focus on the ultimate moment, 717.5 into 10 raised to 6. After doing this calculation, we are getting area of the reinforcement required as 1834.27. This is what design requirement in respect of whatever the design moment is coming. So to resist this moment, how much area of the reinforcement required along the parallel edge? That will be 1834. It is actually what design requirement. Thereafter, we have to check whether it is less than or more than of minimum requirement. So IS code has suggested that we should consider minimum percentage of reinforcement at any of the section for the bottom face as 0.12% of B into D, where B per meter, that's why we are considering as 1000, and overall depth of the pile cap is actually given as 1000. So after doing this calculation, we are getting the minimum requirement as what? 1200 mm square. So design requirement is 1834.79 and minimum requirement is what? 1200. Obviously we will provide the design requirement because design requirement is more. That's why we are going to follow this reinforcement. Okay, in any situation, if you are getting design requirement less than of the minimum requirement, in that situation we will follow the minimum requirement. Okay, so here we are going to consider 20 mm diameter of bar. So unit area of 20 mm diameter of bar is 314.16. Now spacing required to be provided over the width of, or you can say that over the perpendicular direction, because the provision of the reinforcement will be along this direction. We are doing the calculation along this direction, okay, along the parallel direction, but the calculated reinforcement distribution will be along this width. This I am going to call it as width, or you can call it as perpendicular direction. Both are okay. So actually here it is written as width, so that is not the problem. Here also we can write as perpendicular direction. Okay, so spacing required, so unit area divided by total area multiplied by over a 1 meter width. After doing this calculation, we are getting the value of spacing as 171.22. But you know we are providing this by the factor of 25 mm, because 1 inch is equal to 25 mm. So it will be easy to execute on site. If you are giving the random value like 170, 160, so that will be difficult to execute on site. This will also be the right. This will also be the right. That is not the problem. You can provide 165 also. That is also the right. No problem. But on site it will be difficult to execute. Okay. It will be difficult to measure. That's why what consultants are normally doing, they are providing by the factor of 25 mm. Either 50, either 100, either 150, 250, 200, like that. So here now hence provide the spacing as 150 mm instead of 171 or 170. So spacing between the bars will be what? 150 mm center to center. Now provide T20 at a spacing of 150 mm center to center along the parallel edge. So basically we are going to provide the reinforcement like this. We are going to provide the reinforcement like this, and the distance between these two reinforcements will be what? 150 mm center to center with a 20 mm diameter of bar. So this is what the complete calculation along the parallel direction. Now how much the total area of the reinforcement has provided by the area and by the percentage, that we have to calculate. So for that reason area of steel provided, because demand of the spacing was actually 171, we have reduced the spacing, like we are going to provide the reinforcement by this distance. So obviously more number of bars is coming. Okay, that's why area of the reinforcement is going to be increased slightly, and increase is there. That's a good thing. We are not going towards the danger side. It is, we are moving towards the safer side if we are going to slightly provide more reinforcement. Okay, so here area of steel provided, AST, unit area divided by final provided spacing, that will be multiplied by consider width, that is what? 1000. So we are getting total area of reinforcement actually provided along the parallel edge 2094.4 mm square. Now how much area of the reinforcement by percentage has provided? So here PT, percentage of reinforcement, total area provided divided by width considered effective depth of the pile cap. So total area 2094.4 divided by 1000 multiplied by effective depth of the pile cap. So after doing this calculation by multiplying with the 100 to make into percentage, so we are getting 0.225% of the reinforcement we are going to provide along the parallel direction. Now next we have to do the same calculation again for the bottom face, bottom reinforcement, but at this time we are going to do the calculation along the perpendicular edge or along the perpendicular direction. So basically here we are going to do the calculation for the perpendicular direction. So last time we have calculated this clear distance from the face of the column up to the center of the pile, but now at this time we have to do the calculation along this direction. We have to find out the reinforcement along this direction. How you can calculate the reinforcement along this direction? Try to understand this. So basically this is the center of the column, and we have to calculate this distance from the face of the column up to the center of the pile. So each pile, because P1, P2, P3, all piles carrying the same intensity of the reaction, but only the change is what? The spacing, this clear spacing from the face of the column up to the center. So we have to calculate the moment by considering this pile or by considering this pile. So basically if you are going to see from the bottom side, so your face of the column is outside of this center line. Your center line of the pile is coming inside of the column. So there is no possibility to do the calculation of the moment in this side. So there is no consideration for this side. Now if you are going to see this side, so on this side there is a clear distance from the face of the column up to the center of the pile. So this distance we have to calculate. So we need to do some geometrical calculation, then only you will come to know how much this distance is. So it's very simple and basic. Try to understand. So here the figure is given. again what I would like to repeat, the center of these bottom face piles are coming inside of the column, so there is no any consideration of this reaction to calculate the moment. Only we have to consider this P1. Okay, so we have to calculate this center to this face of the column distance. So basically first we need to calculate this total height. This total height we are not having, so we have to calculate this total height. So total height will equal to center to center distance between these two pile divide by 2. So you will have this distance half of this triangle. This triangle we are going to consider, and this total angle is actually what? So by the triangle you know very well, center to center distance divide by 2. So this is base we are having. Okay, now we have to calculate this height. So height upon base will equal to tan theta. We have to calculate total height will equal to base into tan theta. So base is how much? LC by 2. So LC by 2 multiplied by tan theta means 60 degree. After doing this calculation, because center to center distance is 1.35 divided by 2 multiplied by tan 60. So we are getting this total height 1.1691 in meter. Now next, distance of center of pile P1 from the column center. Now from the column center we are going to calculate it. So it is going to become again this LC by 2 into tan 60. So you will have complete height as we have calculated here, and then we need to know this distance. Again this is a small triangle we have to consider. How much this height will be? It's again very simple. This is the base LC by 2 again, and this tan 30. So total is what? LC by 2 tan 60 minus LC by 2 tan 30. So LC by 2 I am taking outside, tan 60 minus tan 30. So 1.35 divided by 2 inside bracket tan 60 minus tan 30. So we are getting the value as 0.7794. This is actually the distance of pile 1 from the center to this point. We are having total height is what? 0.7794. But my dear friend, our objective is not to calculate up to the center. Our objective is to calculate up to the face of the column. So how you can calculate? It's very simple. Just subtract from this total height this half of depth of the column. So distance of the center of pile, see here it is given. So we actually have to calculate what? See the total up to the center of the pile minus half of depth of the column divided by 2. So after doing this what? 0.7794 total minus half of your depth of the column. So we are getting this clear distance from the face of the column up to the center of the pile, and that value, that perpendicular distance, we are going to multiply with the reaction that is carried by your pile 1. Okay, so that we are going to put here, pile 1 carrying the reaction as 1366 multiplied by what? This perpendicular distance. Okay, so after doing this calculation we are getting the value of 518.51 kilonewton meter. This is the ultimate moment along the perpendicular direction. But here what is given, try to understand that we skipped. So distance of the center of pile P2 or P3 from the column center, it is coming out to be 0.3897. What is this distance? Try to understand. We have calculated the total height, and total height is what? 1691 minus this height. So you will have this height from the center to this. So this is obviously we have to check with the depth of the column. So basically the center of pile P2 or P3 from the column center, that is what? 0.3897, which is actually within the depth of the column divided by 2. Depth of the column is what? 0.8 divided by 2, that is going to become 4 meter. That's why no reaction is needed to consider to calculate bending moment along this direction. Okay, because face of the column is outside of this center line. So no possibility of becoming a movement in this direction. That's why we are considering only on that direction. Here in the note 2, it is given in reference of note 1, movement due to reaction at pile P2 and P3 is not applicable. That's why we are not going to consider. But in any case, in any of the problem statement or with the calculation, you are getting this center line, center point coming outside of this face of the column. Then you have to consider that, and both the reaction 2 are multiplied by this face distance, perpendicular distance you have to consider, and you have to find out the moment, and this moment as well as the moment for the pile 1. You have to compare both of the moments, and maximum moment you have to consider for finding out the reinforcement along the perpendicular direction. But in our case, moment due to P2 and P3 is not applicable. That's why we are going to follow only the P1. Hope that's clear to all of you. Now, we have calculated the bending moment along the perpendicular direction as 518.51. Okay, so width is 1000, effective depth of the pile cap is 930 mm, characteristic strength as 30, yield strength as 500. Put all these values again in this equation, and after doing this calculation we are getting the design requirement of the reinforcement as 1313.33 mm square, or it may be considered as 24. Actually, by mistake here written as 33, it is 24. So this much area of the reinforcement is what required by the design. Now we have to compare it with the minimum requirement. So minimum requirement demands to provide 1200 mm square. So now minimum and design requirement, compare these two and we have to follow the maximum one. So it is the maximum one in comparison of this minimum requirement. That's why we are going to follow this. Now after all of this, just proceed. Again we are going to provide 20 mm diameter of bar for the perpendicular direction, so that it's having the unit area as 314.16. Spacing required over the length, it should be what actually over the length, spacing required over the length, or you can say parallel direction, because we are going to calculate the reinforcement along this direction, but its a distribution will be along, you can understand, along the parallel direction. Okay, provision will be along perpendicular direction. Okay, after all of this, try to understand spacing required. So unit area divided by total area multiplied by over the considered width, that is 1000. So it is going to become what? 239.22 mm required. That's why we are going to provide the spacing as 225 in mm. So obviously spacing is what reduced, so area of the reinforcement provided will be slightly going to increase beyond of 13. Okay, so that's why we are going to calculate again. So 20 mm dia at a spacing of 225 along the perpendicular edge or perpendicular direction, area of the steel finally provided, unit area divided by 225 mm multiplied by over the considered width 1000. Now we are getting the reinforcement which we are going to provide 1396.26 mm square. Now thereafter total area of the reinforcement provided divided by B into effective depth of the pile cap. After doing this calculation, we are getting the percentage of reinforcement as provided as 0.15%. Remember this point. So finally we have provided the reinforcement along the parallel direction at the bottom face. We also have calculated the reinforcement along the perpendicular direction at the bottom face. Now finally we have to calculate the reinforcement in both of the direction, parallel as well as perpendicular, at the top face, because in the pile cap we are providing the reinforcement at the bottom face as well as at the top face. So for that reason what we have to do, just follow the C part to find out the top reinforcement along both direction as parallel and longitudinal or perpendicular. You can call it too as perpendicular or longitudinal, both are okay. Now next, there is no tensile force or hogging moment, hence minimum percentage of reinforcement is needed to provide at the top face. So basically we are going to provide the minimum reinforcement, so AST minimum at the top face, because earlier we have followed the minimum percentage as what? 0.12%, but in actual for the top face where the design demand is not there or negative movement is not there, in that situation what the consultants are following, they are providing half of the minimum reinforcement, because 0.12% is the minimum. So half of this, if suppose you are going to take, so that is going to become 0.06%. So this also we are going to do in our proposed example, 0.06% B into overall depth. After doing this calculation, we are getting the area of the reinforcement required as 600 mm square. Now providing 12 mm diameter of bar, so unit area of 12 mm diameter of bar is 113.09. Okay, after this spacing required along both the direction, so as spacing required will equal to 113.09 divided by 600 multiplied by over the 1 meter width we are going to consider, so 188.48 spacing required to provide that much reinforcement. So 12 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 175 mm we are finally going to provide along both the direction at the top face. So finally area of steel provided, unit area divided by finally provided spacing as 175 over the considered width as 1000 mm. So 646.228 mm square area of the reinforcement we are going to provide. By the percentage, if you would like to calculate, so total area finally going to provide, width of considered, and effective depth of the pile cap. So after this, just take this 646.228 on the top, divide by B into D. So we are getting the percentage of reinforcement going to be provided as 0.069%, which is greater than 0.06%. Hope that's clear to all of you. So finally, we have provided the reinforcement at the bottom and top of the pile cap for the three piles. Now, finally, we are going to see the summary for the flexure design. So whatever the reinforcement we have provided at the top of the pile cap or at the bottom of the pile cap along both the direction as parallel and perpendicular direction, that we are going to write here in a tabulated form as a summary for the flexure design. So very first, we have to understand the location. So we are having top face and bottom face. This is our top face T, and this is your bottom face. I am going to represent by B. So bottom face and top face we are going to see. Direction, we are having two direction. One is your parallel direction, another one is your perpendicular direction. So basically at the bottom face we have provided the reinforcement, bottom reinforcement along parallel direction, parallel edge. We have provided the 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 150 mm center to center, and percentage of reinforcement we have provided as 0.225. So that we are going to write here as 20 mm die at a spacing of 150 mm center to center, percentage 0.225. Then along perpendicular direction we have provided the same diameter of bar. Let me show you, at a spacing of 225 mm center to center along perpendicular edge, and by the percentage it is 0.15%. You can see here it is the 0.15%, and 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 225 mm center to center. And finally we have provided the top reinforcement along both the direction as parallel and perpendicular as 12 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 175 mm center to center. You can find here along both the direction at the top face of the pile cap. Okay, so basically it is going to become what? 12 mm dia at a spacing of 175 mm center to center, 12 mm dia at a spacing of 175 mm center to center. So the reinforcement percentage is going to become 0.069, 0.069. We earlier have seen this percentage of reinforcement. So this is all done for the summary for flexural design, or basically we can say for the reinforcement. Hope that's clear to all of you how to do the design for your pile cap to find out the reinforcement. Now after the complete design for the flexure, in the next step we have to do the design checks for the shear in order to find out whether the provided depth of the pile cap is safe for the punching shear or one-way shear or not. So for that reason we actually have to look at the IS 456-2000, because the check for the punching shear and one-way shear for the pile cap is something different than that of the other type of the foundation slab. In other type of the foundation slab, what we are doing, we are considering the entire reaction. Okay, but in case of the pile cap design, the IS code 456-2000 clause number 34.2.4.2, this clause you will get at the page number 65. So this is giving something different recommendation for considering the reaction, for considering the shear value when you are going to design the pile cap. So first of all I am going to read the statement, thereafter I will explain what does mean by this statement for calculating the punching shear value. So in computing the external shear or any section through a footing supported on piles, so obviously the footing which is going to be supported by the piles will be definitely your pile cap. So it is talking about the pile cap, not other types of the foundation. For other type of the foundation you have to follow the general approach for finding out the shear value for the punching and one-way shear. But here if you are going to design or if you are going to do the check for the shear for the foundation as pile cap over the pile, so in that you have to follow this clause. So it is saying that in computing the external shear, while you are going to calculate the shear force value, so in computing the external shear or any section through a footing supported on piles, the entire reaction from any pile of diameter dp whose center is located dp by 2 or more outside the considered critical section shall be assumed as proceeding the shear on the section, and the reaction from any of the pile whose center is located dp by 2 or more inside the critical section shall be assumed as producing no shear on the section. For intermediate position of the pile center, the portion of the pile reaction to be assumed as producing shear on this section shall be based on a straight line interpolation between the full value at dp by 2 outside the section and zero value at dp by 2 inside the section. So hope that by just reading of this statement or this recommendation you cannot understand the concept. So for that reason just follow me, I will explain in detail. So basically that clause is recommending to reduce the shear value, to reduce the reaction value when you are going to design the pile cap which is going to be rested over your piles. So basically if you are going to consider the critical section either for one-way shear or for two-way shear. So suppose I am going to consider the critical section for the two-way shear from the column at a distance of dp by 2 from the face of the column. So this is what your critical section. Red line is actually showing the critical section, and that we are going to take at a distance of depth of the pile cap divided by 2. At a distance of this we are going to consider the critical section. Now one more thing you have to do, you have to take one section ahead at a distance of dp by 2, diameter of pile divided by 2. One section you have to take outer side, one section you have to take inner side at a distance of dp by 2, diameter of pile divided by 2. So overall if you are going to see this distance, it is going to become diameter of pile. Very simple, half from this side, half from this side. If you are going to add these two, you will get diameter of pile. So you have to take dp by 2 outside, dp by 2 inside. This is very simple. Now next thing, you have to check your center of the pile. If your center of the pile is coming at a distance, or your center of the pile is coming outside of this line which is at a distance of dp by 2 from the critical section, in that situation whatever the reaction where this pile is carrying, that entire reaction, that 100% reaction you have to consider while doing the calculation for the shear. That is the meaning of the first statement. Again I am going to read here. See, in computing the external shear or any section through a footing supported on pile, the entire reaction, 100% reaction from any pile of the diameter dp whose center is located dp by 2 or more outside the critical section. Okay, so same thing we are actually doing. Critical section dp by 2 outside, and your center is coming outside of this dp by 2. So that's why we are going to consider 100% reaction for the case first. If this center of the pile is coming somewhere here, exactly at dp by 2 outside of this critical section, at that time also you have to consider 100% reaction. Either is coming at dp by 2 or outside of this, you have to consider 100% reaction. Now in the case 2, what the recommendation is, if the center of the pile is coming at this line, means which is inside of this critical section at a distance of d by 2. So at this line, if suppose your center of the pile is coming, so what, you don't need to consider any reaction. Whatever the reaction where pile is carrying, you don't need to consider that. You have to ignore it and you have to consider it as 0 while doing the calculation for the punching shear or one-way shear. You have to consider it as what, 0. Or if it is coming in the third case, if it is coming in between of this at a distance of dp by 2 outside, at a distance of d by 2 inside, so here we have to consider 0, here we have to consider what, 100. But you may ask a question, sir, if the center of the pile is coming in between, then what to do? In that situation you have to do the linear interpolation, because there will be the triangle will form. Here the 100% you have to consider, here you have to consider the 0% or 0 value. So you have to do the linear interpolation and you have to find out the value at this point, at this in reference of this center of the pile. So this will be your considered percentage of reaction. Whatever the percentage or whatever the height you are getting here, that is considered as a 100%. So if suppose you are going to consider as 100, it is to be 0, and it is suppose if it is coming out to be what, towards the 100 is suppose coming out to be 75. So you have to consider 75% of whatever the reaction carried by this pile. So that is actually I have shown here in the case 4. In the case 4, if you are actually that's it is what the same case, it is the case 3 only, not the case 4, it is the case 3. So in this case 3, what we are getting, the same position is there, so that what, here the triangle is going to be considered as 100, here going to be considered as 0. If your center of the pile coming at this line, if your center of pile coming at this line, so 100 and 0 in between, if suppose your center of the pile is coming, then at that time you have to do the linear interpolation. You have to find this value, that will become a percentage to carry your reaction. whatever the reaction you have to consider. So this is actually the concept and this is actually the recommendation were made by this clause of IS 456 2000, which is given at the page number 65. So when you are going to do the checks for the shear, or when you are going to design your pile cap for the shear, at that time it is not needed to consider always the 100% reaction. There is an option to reduce the reaction by following this clause and by following this concept. Hope that's clear to all of you. Now in the step 4 design check for the shear, we are going to first perform the punching shear check around the column in order to check whether the provided depth of the pile cap is safe or not for resisting the shear. And for that reason we are going to consider a critical section at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column, where d is actually the effective depth of the pile cap. So effective depth of the pile cap is what? 930 mm. And if you are going to take half of this, so at that distance we are going to take our critical section on all the direction as a punching. So it is what? Depth of the pile cap divided by 2. So at a distance of d by 2 from all the sides from the face of the column, right, we are going to take, so it is going to become 465 in all the direction from the face of the column. And to consider the reaction, we have to follow the clause 34.2.4.2 in IS 456 2000 page number 65 that we have discussed just now. So that same recommendation we are going to implement in our proposed example for calculating the reaction to be considered for calculating the shear stress. So there are basically 3 piles: pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. So the actual reaction were carried by all these different piles are actually 1366.67. This is the base reaction. This is what actually the base reaction or overall reaction were carried by each individual pile. So all 3 piles are carrying the same intensity of the reaction. But my dear friend, as per the recommendation were made by IS 456, this clause 34.2.4.2, the entire reaction under each of the pile is not needed to consider. You have to follow this recommendation. I have explained this point just now. So see, we are going to follow the same recommendation for finding out how much the percentage of this reaction has to consider for calculating the shear value. Okay, so that I am going to do. For that we need to follow this. In the figure A, we are going to consider the reaction percentage along the parallel direction. So along the parallel direction, one side we are going to do the calculation. Okay, so we are having the critical section here, which is at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column. Okay, so from this critical section at a distance of dp by 2, we have to take one section inside at a dp by 2 diameter of pile divided by 2 outside of this section. Okay, critical section. So our diameter of the pile is 450 mm. So if you are going to take half of this, that is going to become 225. So at a distance of 225 outside, at a distance of 225 inside, we are going to consider the lines. Now the code has suggested that if your pile center is at this line or outside of this line, you have to consider 100% reaction. And if your pile center is coming at this line or inside of this line, you have to consider no reaction, zero reaction. But in the case when your center of the pile is coming in between of this line, then you have to do the linear interpolation, and for that reason we are going to do the linear interpolation. So I am taking this line as 100 unit, this is a 0. So we actually have to calculate this height. So for that reason it is in respect of the center of the pile. So if I am going to measure it, so how much it is going to come, try to understand. It is actually 63.33 percentage of reaction we have to consider. So this is the pile 2 and pile 3. So as you can see in our tabulated values, so basically for pile 2, for pile 3, base reaction is 1366, 1366. The percentage we have to consider of this reaction is what? 63.33 percentage only. Okay, so if we are going to multiply this 1366.67 with 63%, we are getting what? This much shear value we have to consider. This is actually the shear reaction, 865.51. Now we also have to calculate how much the percentage needed to consider along the perpendicular direction, means for the pile 1. So again we are going to follow the same approach in this direction. So this is the pile 1 and this is our critical section line at a distance of dp by 2 outside, at a distance of dp by 2 inside. Now at a distance dp by 2 outside, so it is going to become 100%, it is going to become 0%,
and in respect of the center, don't do the mistake. Okay, keep in mind, we don't need to consider in respect of the critical section. We have to do the calculation in respect of the center of the pile. So in respect of the center of pile, we have to calculate this height. Okay, so for that reason, what I'm going to do, I'm going to again measure it. Either you have to take the help of the graph paper or you have to take the help of the CAD software. So here it is what 30.98. So I am going to put this value for the P1. So it is again I am given the value as 30.98 percentage needed to be considered. Okay, so basically you have to multiply 30.98% with 1366.67. So you are getting the reaction as 423.393. So from all of these three sides, means from the side of the pile first, pile 2, pile 3, this all is going to impose the shear over this critical section for the punching shear. Okay, so we have to consider all these three reaction. Total factor shear force around the column P1 plus P2 plus P3. So 423, 865.51, again 865.51. So this combinedly will give you final shear value, ultimate shear value 2154.413 kilonewton. This much shear reaction and shear value you have to consider. Now total perimeter length of the shear area. How you can calculate the total perimeter length of the shear area? So this side we have to calculate. So it is the width of the column plus half of depth of the pile cap divided by 2. Here also half of depth of the pile cap. So this combinedly going to become depth of the pile cap plus width of the column. So this is going to become one side and you have to multiply it by 2 to count the other side also. Okay, so that we are going to do here. Depth of the cap plus width of the column 930 plus width of the column is 300. So and this is going to be multiplied by 2 to consider both of the side at top and bottom. And the sides, how you can calculate the sides? Depth of the pile cap plus depth of the column as 800 and you have to multiply it by 2. Okay, by mistake here the multiplication by 2 is missing. We will correct it, okay, in the final file. Okay, so finally what value we are getting? 5920. The value we are getting in mm. It is the total perimeter length of the shear area. So this final value is actually correct one. Only we have to what? Multiply it by 2. I will correct it. Now effective perimeter length of the shear area. What does it mean? Try to understand. So if you are going to see this line, so actually this is the line which is representing the pile cap edges, which is going to take a part of resisting the shear. So basically this edge is coming outside of the pile cap. It is not playing an important role for resisting the shear. This is small height outside. So this is not needed to consider. Above this is also not taking a part of resisting the shear. This is also not taking a part of resisting the shear. This perimeter length and this perimeter length is not going to take a part of resisting the shear. So basically from the total perimeter length of the shear area, we have to eliminate this portion. We have to ignore this part and only this section, this length and this length is going to take a part of resisting the shear, punching shear. So for that reason we are actually not having any mathematical approach. So for that reason we are going to assume it by some value. We are going to reduce the actual perimeter length of the shear area. So actual 5920. So 2/3 of this perimeter length we are going to consider. As much as you are going to reduce this, you will be on safe side. Okay, you are going to do the design on safe side. So I am going to consider 2/3 of this total perimeter length. Okay, so for that reason with this multiplication, with this reduction, we are getting the value of 3946.66 in mm. Now how much the nominal shear at the critical section is going to be developed due to the total shear force coming as 2154.413 into 10 raised to 3 divided by effective perimeter length of the shear area. So 3946.66 multiplied by effective depth of the pile cap. So it is giving the nominal shear as 0.5869. This is the shear which is going to be developed at the critical section due to this shear force. Now we have to calculate the critical capacity of the section. Means what is the actual capacity of your section to resist the shear. So for that reason the shear at the critical section, if you are going to follow as 456 2000 page number 58 clause number 31.6.3, if you are going to follow this, so you will get the formula to find out the shear at the critical section as tau c multiplied by ks, where ks is equal to 0.5 beta c, and beta c is the shorter side of the column divided by longer side of the column, and this ks value is limited to a maximum of 1. You cannot consider the value of ks more than of 1, even though by the calculation the value of ks is coming out to be more than of 1. If it is coming out to be more than of 1, then you have to consider maximum value as only what? 1, right? So here, therefore beta c, as our width of the column is 300, depth of the column is what? 800. So by the ratio we are getting the value of 0.375. Okay, therefore ks will equal to 0.5 plus 0.375. So we are getting the value of 0.875, which is actually less than of 1. That's why we are going to follow this value. In any situation, if it is coming out to be more than of 1, then we don't need to consider the greater value. We have to consider to a maximum as what? 1 only. You are not allowed to take it more than of 1. Hope that's clear. Now next, critical capacity of your section will equal to ks multiplied by 0.25 under root of fck. So I am going to put the value here as 0.875 multiplied by 0.25 multiplied by characteristic strength of the concrete as under root of fck. So after doing this calculation, we are getting the value of critical capacity of your section as 1.198. It is the critical capacity. Your section is having this much capacity to resist the shear. And how much the shear is coming in actual? 0.5869. So nominal shear is less than of your critical shear. So it is what? Safe. But further we are going to do the calculation for the punching shear ratio. So nominal shear divided by critical shear, you have to take the ratio of this, and this ratio should be less than of 1. Then we can say that hence the provided depth of the pile cap is safe in punching shear around the column. So your depth of the cap or pile cap is basically safe for the punching around of your column. So we have done this check around the column. Now the same check we have to perform around the pile also, because pile is also carrying the reaction. Suppose this is my cap, so under that there is a presence of the pile. So pile is actually carrying the reaction. So due to this shear value, there may possibility of the cracking around your pile. So we have to check whether the provided depth of the pile cap is safe or not to resist the shear which is coming through the pile, through a surrounding of your pile at a distance of d by 2, means effective depth of the pile cap divided by 2, that is again 465. Okay, so finally we actually not need to do any reduction for the shear, because one pile we are going to deal with. So one pile is carrying total intensity of the reaction as 1367 point what? I think 33 it is. Let me check it once. Yeah, 1366. It is actually what? 1366.67. This is what the reaction carried by one pile. So you can choose any of the pile. Either you can consider this P2, you can consider this P1, you can consider this P3. So I am going to consider this what? Let's say P2. So for the consideration of P2, you can take any P2, P3, P1, or you can take all of these. Either P2, P3 and P1 around each of the pile you can check. But for your understanding, I am going to discuss only for P2. So overall perimeter length around the pile. Around the pile, what is the length of this circle? Perimeter, okay, at a distance of d cap divided by 2. Okay, now basically it is going to become pi multiplied by d cap divided by 2 on this side, d cap divided by 2 on this side, and diameter of pile, because we would like to know the diameter of the pile. So the perimeter length will equal to pi into d. So that is I am going to follow the diameter multiplied by pi. So pi will equal to 3.1416 multiplied by depth of the cap 930 divided by 2 plus diameter of the pile 450, then 930 divided by 2. So finally we are getting the perimeter length of this shear circle as 4335.408 in mm. This is the value we are getting. Now next, effective perimeter length. Again the same thing. If you are going to observe it, this line, this portion is outside of the cap. So it is not going to take a part of resisting the shear reaction. Only the part which is coming inside of the cap, that is only taking the part of resisting the shear. So we have to consider this length only. Then again we don't have any exact calculation for this. So we are going to assume it by the fraction. So we are going to consider 25% only. That's why it is going to become 0.25 multiplied by total perimeter length. So we are getting resisting perimeter length as effective 1083.85. This is the effective perimeter length. Punching shear section around the pile at d by 2 from the pile face. Factored shear value, we are getting what? Factored shear is the total reaction as 1366.67 is the shear value. Now nominal shear will be what? Shear value divided by B dash multiplied by D. Now after putting all the values here, effective perimeter length multiplied by depth of the pile cap multiplied by means this is the reaction shear value. After doing this calculation, we are getting the nominal shear value as 1.3558. Note it down. So this is what nominal shear which is going to be developed around the pile. Now we need to calculate what is the critical capacity of your section, critical capacity of your pile cap around your pile to resist the shear stress. So for that reason again we have to follow the same calculation. Shear at critical section will equal to tau c into Ks. Ks will be 0.5 beta c, where beta is shorter side of the column divided by longer side of the column. But in this case there is not a column, there is a pile, and pile is a circular means having the side as 450 by 450 diameter. We are going to consider 450 by 450, we are getting the value as 1. Therefore Ks will equal to 0.5 plus 1, it is going to become 1.5. And what I told you, the IS code has limited this value to a maximum of 1 in consideration. You are not allowed to take this value more than of 1, even though it is coming by the calculation. So we are going to consider only 1, not 1.5. Now tau c will equal to Ks into 0.25 under root of FCK. So 1 multiplied by 0.25 multiplied by FCK under root. So it is going to become 1.3693. Now here punching shear capacity ratio, we are getting nominal shear divided by critical shear. So we are getting the nominal shear as 1.3558 divided by critical capacity. So it is less than of 1, very close to 1, but still we are going to say it is safe. So what the clue we are getting? There is an option if suppose you want to more safety against around your pile. So in that situation what to do? You need to increase the depth of the pile cap. We have taken 1000. So if suppose you will say that, so sir, it is very large value close to the 1, we should take more safety, we should bring this value to a 0.75, 0.6 like that. So there is an only option to increase the depth of the pile cap. So we have taken the depth of the pile cap 1000. So if you would like to make it more safe, then what to do? You need to increase the depth to a 1200, 1300, 1100, your choice. But I am happy to go with this because it is also safe, right? So now hence provided depth is safe in punching shear around the pile. So around the pile it is again safe. So hope that's clear to all of you how to do the punching shear check around your column as well as around your pile. Now after the punching shear check, the next check that we have to perform in respect of one-way shear. And for performing the one-way shear check, we have the two directions as along the parallel edge or parallel direction and along the perpendicular direction. As we earlier have seen, have a look over this figure. So basically we are considering two directions. One is your parallel direction, another one is your perpendicular direction. So along both of the directions we have to perform the one-way shear check. So accordingly I am going to consider a critical section for one-way shear at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column along the parallel edge. D, here it is the effective depth of the pile cap. So half of the depth of your pile cap, at that distance we are going to consider our critical section. Our effective depth of the pile cap is 930. If you are going to take half of this, that is going to become 465. So at a distance of this we are going to take our critical section for one-way shear along the parallel edge or parallel direction. Now you may have one question in your mind that normally if you are going to design any foundation, so we are considering the one-way shear section at a distance of d, not at a distance of d by 2. But here intentionally I am taking my one-way shear critical section at a distance of d by 2 instead of d. Why we are doing it, we will let you know later on. This is actually we are going to consider in respect of the codal consideration, in respect of the codal recommendation. So we are going to consider our critical section at a distance of d by 2. So I will let you know when we will talk about this clause 40.5, enhance shear strength of the section close to the support. So in the light of this codal consideration recommendation, we are going to consider the one-way shear section at a distance of d by 2 instead of d. So I will talk about this later on in detail. But here I am going to proceed with this consideration critical section at a distance d by 2. Now see, it is just similar to a distance as that we have considered for the punching shear. For the case of the punching shear, we already have considered the punching shear section at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column. So both the sections are at the same place. Now when you are going to do the consideration of the reaction, so reduction will be there. So in that situation, what? Again the same percentage to be considered for the reaction will come. So for P2 and P3, 63.33, 63.33, and for P1, this much percentage of reaction we have to consider as 30.98%. So you have to multiply this reaction with this considered percentage. So we are getting the reaction as 423.393, 865.51, 865.51. Now basically we are going to do the one-way shear check along this parallel direction. So there is no any consideration of this P1. We only have to focus only P2 and P3. And among this P2 and P3, any of one side you have to consider, because we are having two sides, this side and this side. If you are going to take critical section on this side, so you have to consider only this side. If you are going to consider critical section on this side, you can consider it on this side. So that's why I have taken this side to be in consideration. So basically design shear force will equal to maximum of shear reaction due to P2 or P3. Amongst this P2 and P3, whatever the value as shear reaction is coming, amongst them you have to consider the maximum one. But fortunately what we are getting, these reactions are same. That's why we are going to consider 865.51 kilonewton. So this is our shear force. Now how much the effective depth of the pile cap? Pile cap effective depth is 930 in mm. Width of the pile cap available at this critical section. Very interesting and important point that we are going to see. It is actually we are going to do the shear check along this direction. So at this critical section, what is the effective width of the pile cap is available. So from this point to up to this point, this is actually width of the pile cap is available to resist the shear. Okay, so how much this distance? So you will get it from the geometry. Either you have to take the help of the graph, or you can calculate it or measure it from the CAD software. You have to draw this and then you can calculate by taking the critical section at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column. So it is coming out to be 1378.52. So the same value we are going to put in our calculation. So it is the effective width available at the critical section. So basically it is going to become 1378 point. It is actually 52, not the 92. It is the 52. We will correct it later. Now nominal shear at the critical section. So due to the shear force VU 865.51 kilonewton being present of this much effective width of the pile cap and this much effective depth of the pile cap, we are going to calculate the nominal shear as 0.6749. Now at a proposed critical section, the available percentage of reinforcement is 0.225%. Actually we are doing the calculation along this length, means along the parallel direction. So how much the percentage of reinforcement is available along the parallel direction at the bottom of the pile cap? So this much percentage, 0.225. Actually we have provided 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 150 mm center to center. So the percentage available 0.225. So to find out the critical capacity of the section, so we need to also consider the presence of percentage of reinforcement. So that we have done here in the calculation. So at a proposed critical section, the available percentage of reinforcement is 0.225%. Therefore, as per IS 456-2000, table number 19, we are getting the value of critical capacity at critical section as 0.35 Newton per mm square. Now, nominal shear we are getting more than of your critical shear. Means whatever the shear on the pile cap is going to be developed at a considered critical section, nominal shear is more than of that the capacity of the section. Means your section is failing under the one-way shear check. Whatever depth of the pile cap you have taken and whatever the percentage of reinforcement you have provided, that is what failing to satisfy the design requirement under the one-way shear check along the parallel direction. But we have one option there. We can find the option to make it safe. Actually if you are going to see IS 456-2000 clause number 40.5 page number 74, if I am going to read this clause, try to understand. Enhanced shear strength of the section close to the support. So shear failure at a sections of beam and cantilevers without shear reinforcement will be normally occurs on a plane inclined at an angle of 30 degree. In general, the shear failure inclination will be of 30 degree. If angle of failure plane is forced to be inclined more steeply than this, it means that if you are going to consider the critical section for the shear check more closer to your column face, in that situation you have an option to increase the shear capacity. You need to consider the little bit more capacity of your shear section. Here it is given, enhancement of the shear strength may be taken into account in the design of the section nearest support by increasing. So what I did at the time of considering the critical section for one way shear, what I have done, I have taken my critical section at a distance of d by 2. So I am taking the one way shear very close to your column. So this clause and this recommendation will be applicable, and in that we can increase the shear capacity of your section. So whatever the critical capacity you are getting by the calculation, as we have just calculated tau c, so tau c we are getting what, 0.35 MPa. So we can increase it by multiplying with a factor of shear enhancing factor as 2d divided by AV. So what does mean by the D? D is the effective depth of the pile cap. Now what does mean by the AV? AV is actually the distance between your critical section and center of the pile in the considered direction. So for that reason we are going to do the calculation of AV. We are not knowing AV. So how you can calculate AV? So for that let's try to understand. It is actually what? Distance. Which distance? It is the distance between center of the pile and the critical section. This is called as what? AV. How we can calculate this AV? It's very simple. We are having this center to center distance between the two pile, right? Then what? We have to take half of this. Let me show you in the calculation. Center to center distance between the pile minus width of the column. If you are going to see, minus width of the column. Okay, so you will get only this span, you will get this span, and then half of this if you are going to take, so you will have only this span from this point to up to the center of the pile. You will have this total distance, right? So that we are going to write here in the calculation, center to center distance between the pile minus width of the column divided by 2. So 1350 is the center to center distance between the pile minus width of the column is 300 divided by 2 minus, it is what? This distance is actually this distance, try to understand, from the face of the column. This is what? D of pile cap divided by 2. If you are going to take the difference of these two, you will get the value of AV. So that we are going to do here in our calculation. So it is what? 1350 minus 300 divided by 2 minus 930 divided by 2. We are getting the value of AV as 60 mm. So that we are going to put in our calculation. Shear enhancement factor, S factor, is going to become 2 times D effective divided by AV. So 2 times effective depth is 930 mm divided by 60. We are getting the shear enhancement factor as 31. Now you have to multiply this factor with your critical capacity to find out actual shear resisting capacity of your section. So we are getting the value of 10.85 MPa. This is what? Critical capacity of your section. Now your nominal shear is which is what? 0.6749. It is the nominal shear. It is less than of your critical capacity. Now we can say that our design is safe under the one-way shear check along the parallel direction. After checking the one-way shear check along the parallel direction, now next we are going to do the check for one-way shear along perpendicular direction, or we can say perpendicular edge. So actually we are going to do the check along this direction, along the perpendicular direction. As you can find from here, in this direction we are going to do the check for one-way shear, right? So basically again we are going to consider the critical section for one-way shear at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column along the perpendicular edge, right? So here I am going to consider at a distance of d by 2. So d is a 930, half of that is going to become 465 from the face of the column in this direction. So the critical section is coming out to be outside of the center of the pile in this direction. Now again, the percentage of reaction to be considered for the P1 as 30.98, for P2 63.33, for P3 63.33. These are the percentage of the reaction to be considered. After doing this calculation, same values are coming here: 423.393, 865.51, 865.51. These values are actually coming here. Now next, design shear force. So basically at this time we are going to do the calculation in this direction. That's why we are considering the P1 reaction. So that's why what it is, the P1 shear value for the P1 we are getting what, 423.393. Effective depth of the pile cap, again 930 mm. Depth of the pile cap is common in both of the direction. Width of the cap available at the critical section. So at this critical section, what is the width of the pile cap which is playing an important role for resisting the shear? It is actually 882.68 that you can do from your CAD or by taking the help of the graph paper. So you can measure this distance. Will otherwise you have to play with the geometry. So that also you can do on your own. So 882.68 mm. This is the effective width of the pile cap available at this critical section for the one-way shear along the perpendicular direction. So these values are actually present here: effective width and effective depth and shear. In respect of all these three values, we are going to calculate the nominal shear. So Vu divided by B into D. So we are getting what, 0.5158 MPa, means Newton per mm square. This is what, nominal shear. Due to the action of the loading and available section size, this much shear is going to be developed as a one-way shear. Now next, at the proposed critical section, the available percentage of reinforcement in perpendicular direction is 0.15%. Where it is given, try to understand. Actually we have provided the reinforcement at the bottom face as along the perpendicular direction 0.15%. So this 0.15% we are going to follow. So basically 0.15% is there. Therefore, as per IS 456 2000 table number 19, the critical capacity is going to become 0.29. The shear capacity for the critical section is what, becoming 0.29. I will let you know at the table number 19, as you can find here, in respect of the percentage of reinforcement available as 0.15%, and as our grade of concrete is M30, so the value is what, critical capacity 0.29. Just keep in mind. Thereafter again, if you are going to check, so our shear due to the action, means nominal shear, is more than of your critical shear. So basically here the design is failing. Then again we are taking the help of IS 456 2000 clause number 40.5, page number 74. So what it is suggesting, that we can increase the shear capacity of your section, as we just in case of one-way shear along the parallel direction we have discussed this clause 40.5. Enhance shear strength of the section close to the support. So we can increase the critical capacity of the section by multiplying it with 2D by AV. Okay, so basically the main task is to find out the AV value, and AV is actually what, from the center to critical section distance. This is what is going to become AV value. Okay, so we have to calculate this AV value. So for that we need to play with some geometrical calculation. So basically we have to calculate this height y1. So y1 will equal to LC center to center half, this half. So this half, right, LCC divided by 2. So you will get this distance, base of this triangle, and this complete triangle is 60 degree. Okay, if you are going to subtract this height from that, so again it is LCC divided by 2, this distance, and now at this time angle is what, 30 degree. So LCC divided by 2 into tan 60 minus LCC divided by 2 tan 30. So I am taking LCC divided by 2 outside, and inside bracket tan 60 minus tan 30. After that we are going to put the value of LCC, center to center distance between the pile, as 1350 divided by 2 multiplied by tan 60 minus tan 30. We are getting this value 779.42. Thereafter y2, this y2, how you can calculate this y2? Y2 will equal to y1 minus half of your depth of the column. So you will get the value of y2, this distance. Okay, so basically y2 will equal to y1 minus depth of the column divided by 2. So 779.42 minus 800 divided by 2, we are getting 379.42. Now from the face of the column up to the critical section, we have taken this section at a distance of d by 2, effective depth of the pile cap divided by 2. So it is going to become effective depth of pile cap divided by 2 minus y2. So you will get the value of AV. So finally, we are going to find out AV will equal to effective depth of the pile cap divided by 2 minus y2, 930 divided by 2 minus 379.42. After doing all this calculation, we are getting the value of AV as 85.58 in mm. So the position of critical section from the center of the pile as 85.58. Now shear enhancement factor is going to become 2 times D effective divided by AV. So 2 times 930 divided by 85.58. We are getting the final value for the shear enhancement as 21.734.
Now, finally, we have to multiply this shear enhancement factor 21.734 with the critical capacity that we earlier have calculated. So, critical capacity we have calculated as 0.29. So, we have to multiply this 0.29 with a shear enhancement factor. So, 0.29 multiplied by 21.734. So, after doing this multiplication, we are getting the final critical capacity of this section as 6.3 Newton per mm square. So finally, nominal shear, which is what actually having the value 0.5158, which is less than of 6.3. Nominal shear is less than of the critical capacity. Hence now your design is safe for the one-way shear along the perpendicular direction at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column. So finally, we have completed the design for the pile cap for 3 piles along with the calculating and providing the reinforcement along the parallel direction as well as perpendicular direction at bottom and top, as well as we have successfully completed the one-way shear check and punching shear check. So with all of this calculation and results, now finally we are going to prepare the design details, the reinforcement details as in plan as well as in sectional elevation. So just have a look the detailing. So basically we are going to show the pile cap by its edges and being the presence of the piles 1, 2, 3, and these dotted lines are actually showing the PCC edges. Okay, so and these solid lines of red color is actually showing the reinforcement at the top, and this dashed line of red color is actually showing the bottom reinforcement. So top bars we have provided 12 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 175 mm center to center, and this reinforcement actually provided in both the direction, along parallel direction, along the perpendicular direction. Whereas the bottom reinforcement we have provided along the parallel direction as 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 150 mm center to center, and along the perpendicular direction we have provided 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 225 mm center to center, so that you can find in our schedule table also. So we have given these details here also in the tabulated form. So basically at the bottom along parallel 20 at 150 center to center, 20 at 225 perpendicular direction, top will be 12 as at 175 center to center. So the same thing actually represented in the layout also in plan details. Okay, so it is all actually present here. Now finally we have to see the sectional detail. So in the sectional details the same things are actually present. On the top we have provided 12 mm diameter bar at 175, bottom reinforcement along the parallel direction as 20 at 150 mm center to center, along perpendicular direction 20 at 225 center to center. The diameter of each pile is 450 mm and overall depth of the pile cap as 1000 mm, and it is actually what thickness of the PCC plain cement concrete we have taken as 150 mm, and over that we have to provide our pile cap finally, and your pile is needed to be inserted inside of the pile cap by a distance of 40 mm. So this is what complete details of the reinforcement in sectional elevation as well as in plan view. So in this way we have completed the design of the pile cap for 3 piles. Now it's a time to discuss about an important tool by which you can design the pile cap for 3 piles in just of 3 to 5 minutes. But if suppose you are going to do the same calculation, same design by manual approach, so it will take about 1 to 2 hours for completion the design from start to end. So this is a very important tool by which you can save your time. So first of all, try to understand how you can use this Excel sheet. So basically you have to edit the values in the yellow cells only. So wherever in these Excel sheets
you are getting the yellow cells, you have an option to edit the values in that yellow cells as per your design requirement or as per your problem statement. Thereafter, you may get the white cells. So you are not allowed to make any change in that white cells because the formulas are actually fed in that white cells. So the white cell will adjust the value on itself. So you don't need to change anything in the white cells. And if you are getting the orange color cell, so that orange color cell will suggest the safe value for that particular concern. So you can refer that orange color cell for the further calculation. Thereafter, you may get some black cells or black area. So you have to skip that area and that cells. And somewhere you will get the red cells. So that is the sign of the danger or that is the sign of the failure. So you have to avoid to be present of this red cell in this Excel sheet. So if you are getting the red cell, it means that you are going to do something wrong. You are going to do design as unsafe. So you have to make that as safe. Hope that is clear to all of you how to use this Excel sheet. At this stage, one more important thing I would like to clarify that in respect of the drawing, as you can find here, all the piles are actually shown by the square. But in actual, we are talking about the circular pile of diameter 450. So basically, this is why due to some limitations we are unable to show it by the circle. That's why we are representing it by the square. So this much we have to consider in this Excel sheet. Hope that you all will understand this change. Now, first of all, we are going to look at the problem statement, and according to problem statement, we are going to put the values here because it is first asking about the defined material property, column section property, load definition, and all that things you will get from your problem statement. So basically, here is your problem statement where we have to do the design for the pile cap for 3 piles. So there is a column of size 300 by 800 subjected to a factored load of 4100 kilonewton. So this particular column is actually carrying the load of 4100 kilonewton. The ultimate capacity of the pile of each individual pile is 1700 kilonewton, while total load coming from the column is 4100 kilonewton, where the diameter of pile is given as 450 mm. The material that we have to use for the design of the pile cap as M30 and Fe500 grade. M30 is a grade of concrete and Fe500 is a grade of steel. So in respect of this given data in your problem statement, we are going to put the values here. So the grade of concrete we have recommended to consider for the design as M30. So if you are going to click here, so you will get the multiple options for the different grades of the concrete. So you can choose as per your requirement, as per your problem statement. So as per our problem statement, we have to consider the M30 grade of concrete. That's why I am going to choose it. And for the grade of steel, here drop down list will be available, and I am going to choose the grade of steel as 500. Now, what is the size of the column? So the size of the column has given 300 by 800. 300 is the width, 800 is the depth of the column. And load on column means total factor load coming through the column. How much it is? It is the 4100 kilonewton, as you can find from here as 4100 kilonewton, and pile capacity is what? 1700 kilonewton. That we are going to put here as 4100 kilonewton, and pile capacity is actually what? 1700 kilonewton. Very important point you have to keep in your mind, and you have to observe here, that is what? The number of pile required as 3 number. And if the pile requirement will be as 3 number, then only this sheet will be applicable, and you are getting the sign of the green color and the check sign you will get. It means then you can use this Excel sheet for the designing of the pile cap. But for an example, suppose loading is what? 5500 kilonewton, and pile capacity is what? 1700 kilonewton. So the pile numbers are required to provide as 4 number. That's why instantly it is giving the sign that this sheet is not applicable. You have to use the sheet for pile cap for 4 pile. So basically you have to see this cell whether it is accepting or whether it is what? Rejecting to use this Excel sheet. So basically in our proposed case, it is what? 4100 kilonewton. That's why number of piles required as 3. Sheet is intimating that sheet is applicable. So now you can proceed further. Now diameter of pile as given as 450 mm, and at the same time just focus here. Automatically this drawing is going to be changed as per your definitions. So I am going to put here as 450 mm. Okay. Now what? Diameter of bar at the early stage we are going to consider as 20 mm. Clear cover we are going to consider as what? 60 mm. reaction under single pile means 3 piles we are actually going to provide, and total load coming is what, 4100 kilonewton. So each pile is going to carry the load as 1366.667 kilonewton, right? Now further, this is going to be calculated by the sheet itself. Now spacing factor between the two pile, center to center distance between the two pile. So IS code has recommended it to consider from 2.5 to 3. So either you can take 2 also, you can take 2.5 also, you can take 3 also. So as of now, we are going to take the center to center distance between the two pile by a factor of 3. So 3 times diameter of pile. If you are going to take this multiplication, you will get the center to center distance between the two pile. So that we are going to do by taking the center to center spacing factor between the two pile as what? 3. So all the options are actually available here. So we are going to take it as 3. After that, what is the clear edge distance? So from the face of the pile up to the edge of the pile cap, it is going to called as clear distance. So that I am going to consider as 200. The code has recommended to consider minimum as 150. You are not allowed to take it less than of 150. At least it should be 150. Okay. So for that reason, I am going to consider it as what? 200. Now, base length of the pile cap were calculated as 2200. You can see this. Now, as per this orange color cell will suggest the safe value. So here depth of the pile cap as per the suggestion is what? 1000. You can consider depth of the pile cap as 1000. That's why I'm going to consider it as 1000. If you would like to go on slightly safer side, you can take 1200, 1400 as per your concern, as per your consideration. So I'm going to take it as 1000 only. Now finally, the sheet is going to do the flexural design. The sheet is going to find out the reinforcement along this parallel direction and along this perpendicular direction. Sheet was going to do the calculation. So along parallel edge means this direction is going to be called as parallel direction. This direction is going to be called as perpendicular direction. Keep in your mind. Okay, while using this Excel sheet. So parallel edge or parallel direction, both the things are same. So first we are going to do the calculation for the bottom. So moments are coming as 717.5 and area of reinforcement required as per the design moment 1834, as minimum reinforcement required as 1200. So if suppose I am going to provide 20 mm diameter of bar, so spacing required is 171. So obviously we are providing slightly less than of this spacing by a factor of 25 mm. So I am going to take 150 mm lower value. So now finally we are going to provide 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 150 mm center to center. So finally provided percentage of reinforcement is going to become 0.225. But you know very well, IS code has limited that the minimum percentage of reinforcement should be provided as 0.12%. So if you are doing mistake, you are going to take the spacing as what? 300. So suddenly your percentage of reinforcement is coming out to be less than 0.12%. So sheet will give you intimation you are going to do it wrong by the red color and red cell. Are you getting my point? So that's why you don't need to worry about, sheet will give the intimation if you are doing anything wrong. Now next, along the perpendicular direction at the base only. This is the parallel direction, this is the perpendicular direction. So in the perpendicular direction at the bottom face, we are going to take again 20 mm diameter of bar and 239. So again I am going to provide 225. Okay, so percentage of reinforcement is going to become what? 0.15%. Suppose by mistake I am going to take 300. See what is going to be happen? Again it is less than 0.12%. So it is again giving the intimation of failure. So I am going to choose it as 225. That's it. Now at the top we are going to provide the reinforcement. So design or movements will not be there because there is no hogging movement at the top face. Okay, that's why minimum reinforcement we are going to provide at the top. That's why it is what I am going to choose as 12 mm diameter of bar top along the parallel direction, and along the longitudinal direction again I am going to provide 12 mm diameter of bar. Actually we have to correct it. It will be parallel edge and it will be perpendicular edge. It is actually what? It will be parallel edge and it will be your perpendicular edge. Okay. Now in both of the direction or along both of the edges we are going to provide 12 mm diameter of bar. Spacing required 188. So basically we are going to provide as 175. So minimum percentage on the top face where there is no any demand. So normally consultants are providing half of the minimum reinforcement at the bottom. At the bottom we are taking minimum reinforcement 0.12%. So half of this is going to become 0.06. Okay. So according to this percentage, area of the reinforcement was required as minimum 600. That's why the spacing required as 188. So we have provided 175. So finally percentage of reinforcement is going to be provided slightly more than of 0.06. So it is going to become 0.069, right? So if you are doing any mistake, like you are going to provide the spacing as let's say 250 mm. So what the percentage of reinforcement you are going to provide as what? Less than of 0.06. So it is giving the sign of the failure. Okay. So that is what you need to keep in your mind. Now 175, that's it. Now finally we have to perform the punching shear check and we have to perform the one-way shear check. So check for punching shear around the column at critical section at a distance of d/2 from the face of the column. So basically reaction under each of the pile P1, P2, P3 as 1366.67. Now, as per the coder recommendation, we have to do the reduction in the reaction. And for better understanding what does mean the reduction in the reaction which is carried by the pile, you have to follow our manual calculation video. And if you are going to watch that video, you will come to know in detail what is the coder recommendation for reducing the reaction which is coming under the pile. So for that you have to watch our detailed video, okay, for how to do the manual design of the pile cap for 3 piles. Then you will come to know. So basically, first of all, we are going to perform the punching shear check. So along this P1, so see this is the P1, pile 1. So pile 1, actually you have to follow this triangle to find out the percentage to be considered. Okay, so basically it is the line of punching. It is the line of punching, and this is the line, and this is the another line. This is a 0 line, this is a 100 line, and in between this line of the punching is actually 50%. This is actually what 100%, and this is what 0%. So basically we have to find out, or we have to judge the value through the center of the pile. So this is called as judgment line. So basically, if you are coming up to the center, so it is the 50 and it is 0. So it is in between of 50 and 0. So it is coming out towards the 50. That's why I'm going to consider as 30%. So I'm going to take it as what? 30. Second, along the parallel direction. Along the parallel direction, what we are getting for P2 and P3? So basically, it is the judgment line and this is the 50. It is the line for the 50. So basically, it is the 50. It is the 100. So it is slightly more than of 50. So I am going to consider as 60, 61, 62, 63. So basically, I am going to take it as what? 60 directly. So 60. After that, final total shear value is going to become 2050. Final design shear by the addition of all this reaction after multiplying with this consideration factor. So we are getting the value of shear as 2050. Now shear perimeter, total length of this punching shear line is actually 5920. So actually if you are going to see, this line is coming outside of the pile cap. This portion is coming outside of the pile cap. This portion is coming outside of the pile cap. So we have to do the reduction for this. And that's why we are going to consider only the 2/3 portion. So there are different options. 1/4, half portion, 2/3, 3/4 and 1. So I am going to consider 2/3 because most of the part coming inside of the pile cap, some parts coming outside. That's why I am going to consider 2/3. If you want, you can take 0.5 also, you can take 0.25 also. So as much as you are taking lower value means you are going to do the design on safer side. So I am going to consider 0.667 because most of the lines are coming inside of the pile cap. Okay. So after this, sheet is going to do the punching check by calculating in punching shear ratio tau v by tau c. So we are getting final value as 0.466. It is actually what? Less than of 1. Hence sheet is representing by the green cell, means safe. If you are getting this value more than of 1 means you will get by the red cell and it is the sign of the failure. Likewise, we have to do the punching shear check around the pile also. So I am going to perform the punching shear check around the pile P1. So for the P1, 100% reaction we are going to consider basically, and here it is what? Here the total reaction is going to be considered shear perimeter overall 4335.41 total. But actually if you are going to see, the most of the part is coming outside. only this part is coming inside. So 1/4 I am going to consider. I am going to consider what? 1/4 as effective for resisting the shear. So with this consideration, the value of punching shear ratio tau v by tau c is coming out to be 0.99. It is very close to 1, but still it is less than of 1. That's why it is safe. Thereafter, sheet is going to perform the one-way shear check along the both direction, along parallel direction as well as perpendicular direction. So with all of that, nothing you have to do, only you have to check whether you are getting the green cell or not. So here our both of the cells are green, means along the parallel direction or along the perpendicular direction, your design is safe along the for the one-way shear. Your depth of the pile cap and provided percentage of reinforcement is safe for the one-way shear, as well as decided depth and provided percentage of reinforcement is safe for the punching shear also. So both are actually safe. Now finally, this sheet will give you design details of the reinforcement as in plan view as well as in sectional elevation view. So as you can find here, these dashed lines, actually this is showing off PCC lines, and this solid red lines actually showing the reinforcement at the top, and this dash line is actually showing the bottom reinforcement along the parallel direction as well as along the perpendicular direction. So if you are going to see the top along both the direction with a solid lines, actually 12 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 175 mm center to center, as top here it is written. But if you are going to see in the sectional elevation, there is also you will find the same thing, 12 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 175 mm center to center as top. Likewise, if you are going to see the bottom reinforcement by the dash line, it is showing, so along the parallel direction, the reinforcement as 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 150 mm center to center, and along the perpendicular direction 20 mm diameter of bar at a spacing of 225 mm center to center. Both are actually the bottom reinforcement. Thereafter in the sectional elevation you can find it as bottom reinforcement along the parallel direction as 20 at 150 mm center to center, along the perpendicular direction 20 at 225 mm center to center. Each pile having the diameter as 450 mm, the PCC having the thickness of 150 mm, and the pile is going to be inserted in the pile cap by 40 mm. So these all design details and this reinforcement were followed by whatever you have decided at the time of flexure design. So your sheet is going to follow this only, and that is going to be representing in the detail only. So hope that it's clear to all of you how to do the design of the pile cap for 3 piles by using this Excel sheet in a short period of time.